This video will show you how to pretty quickly sketch out the interossei muscles of the hand so that you can help figure out which actions pertain to which of these muscles. Sometimes when we write these questions on a test or we're reading a written question, we can get ourselves pretty mixed up about which muscle is doing what. So it's always helpful if you can just draw a very quick sketch. I've already sketched out the bones of the hand, which I show you how to do in another video, so you can reference that if you're not sure what you're looking at. But we have thumb side over here and pinky side or fifth digit side over there. So the first thing we have to acknowledge when we talk about the interossei is that the midline has now officially changed. The midline, when we're talking about abduction and adduction of the digits, is actually the middle finger. So up until now, everything was referenced for the midline of the body, but now we reference the midline. And this just, the middle finger gives us a reference point down the center of the hand. What you'll know from class is that you have 4 dorsal abductors. And so to remember that, we use the little memory tool. We say 4 DAB, D-A-B, dorsal abductors. Those are going to bring digits away from midline. The other thing you have to know about the middle finger is that because the middle finger is considered the midline, he can only ever abduct. So it doesn't matter whether the middle finger is headed this way towards the thumb or that way towards fingers 4 and 5. It's always considered abduction. So I'm going to put just some arrows up here in the same color to indicate that either way that finger moves, that is considered abduction. So we'll start by putting our dorsal abductors in like this. So this one, they're anchored on either side to these metacarpals, but most importantly is that they are feeding into the dorsal expansions of these digits. So we're going to go into either side of the third digit. So that's 2 of my 4 dorsal abductors right there. I need to be able to abduct digit 2, so I'm going to put one on the lateral side of my second digit, okay, to pull that second digit into abduction. And we'd like to be able to abduct our 4th digit as well, so we'll put one on the medial side of digit 4, because again, we're pulling away from this new midline in the center. Now, that's 4 abductors. I don't have any more. So why don't I have an abductor for my thumb? Well, you might remember that in the posterior forearm, you have a muscle part of the outcroppers group called abductor pollicis longus. If you have an abductor pollicis longus, you know you also have an abductor pollicis brevis, and we found that in the thenar compartment of the hand. So you simply don't need an interosseous muscle to achieve that motion. What about finger 5, pinky finger? We don't have a dorsal abductor interosseous for that finger either, but we do have an abductor digiti minimi in the hypothenar compartment of the hand, so it's really not necessary. So those are all the dorsal abductors, and I find it's easiest to sketch them out. Once you've done that, don't forget that they are numbered, always starting from the lateral side or the thumb side. This is number 1, 2 and 3 both correspond to the 3rd digit, and this is number 4. So sometimes the number of the muscle or the name of the muscle does not correspond to the digit number, and in fact, often it doesn't. The other side of interossei we have are called palmar interossei. We only have 3 of those, and we remember palmar adductors. So we remember 3 pad. So if I come back to my idea about the middle finger being the midline, it does not adduct. So it does not get any palmar interossei at all. We do want to be able to adduct our second digit. So we have one like this. Okay, that will bring our second digit back towards midline. We need to be able to adduct our 4th digit. So that will bring this one back towards midline. And we'll need one for our 5th digit to bring it back towards midline. And that's it. That's all we have room for is just 3. So we don't have anything for the thumb again. Does the thumb adduct? It can. It has its own muscle specifically for that purpose called adductor pollicis. We found that in the hand as well. And then the middle finger doesn't get any palmar adductors because it never adducts. So the last thing we'll do is we'll just number these, again, starting from the lateral side. This is number 1, but it corresponds to the 2nd digit. Number 2 corresponds to the 4th digit, and number 3 to the 5th digit. So I always tell you, be really careful. The numbers do not correspond to the digit numbers, and the easiest way to confirm that for yourself is to know how to do a little sketch.